Hi, Eric here from Socially Awkward Studios and Her Majesty's Secret Podcast. We hope you're going to enjoy this Four-Eyed Radio presentation. For more shows and podcasts, visit foureyedradio.com. While you're at it, why don't you visit hermajestyspod.com/contest and enter the 007 Holiday Returns Contest. That's right, we all get presents we just don't want. We want to take them back. Well, that happens with movies too. And there's always something you want to take back from a Bond movie. Just one little thing that you would change if you could. Tell us all about it and win some fabulous 007 prizes right from the Four-Eyed Radio Network. Go to hermajestyspod.com/contest for all the details.
Hey y'all, it's Erin from the Underground Railroad. You are tuning in to another great show on the Four-Eyed Radio Network. To listen to more of this show and other great shows, tune into www.foureyedradio.com.
That's right, kids. This is your good pal, Steve-O from Four-Eye Radio Network. I'm here to talk about a great person. Now, think about it. Who are you going to call when your logo looks like shit? You want a kick-ass logo. You want people to see your logo and go, you know what? That's an awesome logo. I wonder who did that logo. Well, I'll tell you who could do your logos for you. Check out Raven Designs. Special care of your work. Special inquiries, check her out. She's got everything. RavenCruise.com is the place to go because you want a kick-ass logo. You want to stand above the rest. I guarantee it. You hear this song in the background, you know these guys have a kick-ass logo. It's a recognizable logo, and I guarantee it if Raven was back in that time period, she probably would have made it for them. And they would have been like, hells yeah, people know who we are because we got Raven Designs behind us. Check out RavenCruise.com if you want a kick-ass logo for business cards. Maybe you want to put it on a car. These guys did. Maybe you want to put it on your building. You want something kick-ass. You want something that people can see and just go, this is awesome. Check out RavenCruise.com. And you know what? Do it. Do it right now. You got nothing else going on for you right now. Get a kick-ass logo. Check out her artwork, RavenCruise.com.
That was a long intro. Thanks to Patrick for picking out the tunes this week. Again, we are back with an all-new episode of White-Tukee. And we're joined again by Patrick's lovely wife, Amy.
Hello.
So, I don't know what we're talking about this week. We can go back to talking about ghost stuff, or we can talk about anything. But in fact, let's just do some catch-up. What have you guys been up to this week?
Packing, cleaning.
Yeah.
That's right. The Callahans are going to be moving into a new... It's so weird to say that, the Callahans.
Yeah.
And it was fall break.
Yes.
Too. So my children were all home all week.
How's that going?
It's over in 2 days, which, you know, could be good.
Could be good.
On some levels.
On some levels.
Yeah.
I will say this, you guys have shown me, you're giving me the chance. Like sometimes I will come over here. I come over here every Saturday to have dinner with you guys, which I appreciate. So hopefully once I get my own place again and everything like that, I'll either cook for you guys, or if I can't cook, we'll go out to dinner.
Nice.
But every time I come over here, I go, oh, wow, look at these kids. Look at how they work with kids and stuff. And another time it's all like, do I really want to have kids? So.
Yeah. I do that too, but it you know.
Wait, you do that too, but you already have the kids.
At your stage of life, it's a little different, you know, probably wise to do that. I love my children. Don't get me wrong, but
I see that. I'm not saying it's all like, oh my God, I hate my kids or anything like that. But it's just, it gives me both views.
Yeah,
you know?
Which is good to have. I never had that. I was like anti-kid when I was a kid. I didn't want to babysit or be around kids, so I didn't have that perspective. But I love mine. I think I've done okay, I hope.
No. I see them. They seem to be very raised, healthy children. So
Healthy, happy.
Healthy, happy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, kids are going to be kids, so.
Most of the time. Yeah.
I do have like a standard where I can see where if parenting is going wrong, that's my oldest brother. So if they're not sitting, like right now he's fine, he's great now, he's but when growing up with this person, when you see the levels of kids going like, oh my god, do I really want to have a kid like that? No, I don't.
Yeah, totally.
He was like I always said I wanted to have a son that's like Bart Simpson, but but when I saw my brother Ryan, he is like worse than Bart Simpson. Like Bart Simpson is the minimum.
I always thought having kids would be like those screaming kids in the stores, because you'd see them and their mom is like ready to just fall apart and they're clawing at her and screaming and snarling and I don't know.
Well, nowadays you just can't like discipline your child in public or else everyone thinks you're abusing your child.
Yeah.
And like I go, there's a right way and a wrong way. I was saying if you like smack them, like give them a smack. I'm not saying right across the face or like a huge whipping or anything like that. I'm like, that just shows like, hey, knock it off. I'm like, it's the guys that pull their kids out into the parking garage and then just start pummeling them repeatedly. I'm like, yeah, don't do that.
Fortunately, I've never seen that.
Oh, that's good.
I'd be really upset.
They've had stories of that like on the news like a long time ago, and that's when that whole thing came out where they're like, oh, parents are abusing their kids. I'm like, well, yeah, that guy's abusing his kid, but when the mom's like, no, like just gives him a slap on the hand, and they're like, you're a bad parent, you're abusing your child. I'm like, really? I'm like, that's why I now say, which is really horrible, but back in the day it used to be children are the future, not this generation.
Well, not right now.
No, I give up on this. If you're trying to tell me these children are the future, no. We're going to the zombie apocalypse soon.
Oh, always zombies we get back to.
I
should mention that, on that whole parenting note, my husband is dealing with our youngest right now, which is why he's not weighing in. Bless him. He's so good with her. And she doesn't listen to me typically, so he kind of has to do it.
Well, you know why? Because she's daddy's girl.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
But no, yeah, it always comes back to zombies, especially with me, especially during the month of Halloween where we do all spooky Tukey right now. But I love that. You guys just finally got into Breaking Bad.
We did. I don't know if we're going to keep watching it, though.
Oh, it's so good.
We started the second season, and we're both kind of like, do we really want to go there? I don't know.
You want to go there.
It's such a commitment.
Oh, dude, but it's so good. And that's like, I kind of want you guys to watch that show because then I also kind of want you guys to watch Walking Dead.
But I could let you, totally spoil it for me right now, and I'd be okay with that because then I don't have to watch anyone else die. So that would be cool.
But yeah, no, it's just so good. Just such good television.
Feels so good.
Feels so good. Patrick is back. We were just chit-chatting about the joys of having children.
Parenting and zombies and the correlations.
Well, actually, I just said when that whole thing back in the day when they used to say children are our future, then I look at this generation of kids coming up and I go, not anymore. And I go, zombie apocalypse is going to happen, and the only ones who are going to survive is pretty much us. Because the younger generation, they think they're entitled to stuff. So when a zombie does come up to them and bite them and be like, oh, I'm suing you, man, what's going on? And then they'll just be a zombie because they won't know what to do.
Oh.
How did zombies originate, like the idea of the zombie? Do you know?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different pieces. Actually, a zombie thing started with voodoo, actually. Bringing the dead back to life and so on and so forth. But then there's been a whole bunch of different origins with zombie, whether it was nuclear, testing created zombies, or the dead just. That was actually George or
Foreman.
I wish it was George Foreman. No, because he would just knock the fat out of the zombies. He's like, you got zombies, but they're lean and clean. Look at these guys. Got no more fat in them. It was George R. Romero, the creator of the Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, right.
His concept was when there's no more room in hell, the dead will rise. I might also be even in the Bible, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if they're quite as gory.
Well, they probably worded it a lot better because they had better, they know the language a lot better. They was like, "'Tis if people wake" or something. But yeah, that's pretty much where I think it really dealt with voodoo, though, trying to bring the loved ones back to life, and then them eating the flesh. I think was more just maybe movies creating all that kind of genres. But yeah, I mean, there's many different stories. I mean, you can watch. I mean, even Zombieland, their story was someone ate a bad hamburger and went nuts.
Oh.
So, but yeah, but if there is a zombie apocalypse, I already took the test. I will survive it.
Awesome.
So
That's good. It's good.
That's all I got. So, Patrick, we were just so you guys are going to be moving.
Yes.
And your job's going well?
It is.
And what else is going on this week with you? I know she had to deal with the kids for fall break. What did you have to deal with this week?
Not much, just work stuff. You know, working with Peter.
Cleaning the garage.
Working with Peter, the Polish lathe operator. So.
He's Polish?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, he's Polish.
Is he like Peter Chihash Polish or?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Is he the one who gave you the peppers?
No, that was Kurt.
Oh.
He delivers.
Kurt Cameron?
No.
Oh.
He delivers jalapenos. He'll like track me down in the shop and give me jalapenos
Oh, that's cool.
that he grew in his garden.
Is that what we had with tonight's dinner?
It is.
Ooh,
Yeah.
which was actually by delicious. And I know everyone thought I was joking when I said I've never had chili before. It was true, but now I've had it. So hashtag I've had chili.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hashtag forever young.
I'm just so amazed.
Yeah.
Hashtag 80s big hair.
Do you really want to surprise Amy? Because I can tell you I didn't have pie up until probably maybe 2-3 years ago.
Was it Pat's Pie?
No, it was not. I haven't had
He makes
Pat's
the
Pie,
best pie
which I
in the
think now
world.
we should open a small venue called Pat's Pies.
Yeah.
Oh,
P squared.
P squared. Oh, I like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't. I think it was like I had pumpkin and pecan. I think 3. That was the first time I've had pie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you just like
I
a
just
strange child that didn't want to eat things?
No, I just didn't think I liked. I wouldn't try anything. I was just like, man, I'll get to it when I get to it. You know.
Wow. I feel honored that you had your first bowl of chili at our house. That's
Yeah.
great.
You know, I always freak my parents out because mom's like, I didn't think you liked chili. I'm like, I don't like yours chili.
Oh,
When I drop the
no.
mic and walk away.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what do you guys want to talk about? Do you want to talk about some? I said we could talk anything keeping on with Halloween, but if anybody else actually has anything they would like that they found interesting in the news, or they just want to get off their chest.
No, not that I can think of. I don't watch the news. So.
I don't either. I mean, that guy from Seventh Heaven, though, he's got that going on for him.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah.
What?
Uh-oh.
You didn't hear this?
You didn't
No.
hear that.
So the guy who played the father on Seventh Heaven, I think his name is Stephen Kurians.
Okay.
I think that's his name. Apparently, he was kicked off the movie Ted 2, which is written by Seth MacFarlane. He did the first one, the guy from Family Guy, and I'm like, because of some something happened, and I'm all like, well, Seth MacFarlane's really kind of like an easygoing guy. Like, it doesn't take a lot. Like, it takes probably a lot to kind of offend him.
Yeah,
Then what actually came out is apparently the father has been doing some stuff with children. Yeah, but the worst part about it is that he was in a group therapy session with his either ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife, and they were talking about that, and the wife recorded it, but the wife has been sitting on this information for since 2012.
Jeez.
But she's just trying to get more money out of him now.
Oh, man.
And I'm just sitting there going like, okay, obviously he's worse for doing what he's doing, but you're almost as bad as him for not just coming out and being like, this is wrong. You're basically trying to blackmail him for stuff you shouldn't be doing anyways.
Being a creep.
Yeah, so we did talk about that on Socially Awkward on Friday, and yeah, it's been just kind of like so. Now every time I hear that song, the Seventh Heaven song, I now
Cringe.
So it's kind of very disturbing.
Hey, did you ever watch Alfred Hitchcock as a kid?
No.
The show?
Or you mean his movies or his shows?
The show
Alfred
that
Hitchcock
presents, yeah.
No, I've never got a chance to see
I've never
those.
seen it either.
Whenever Halloween rolls around, I think of that. Just really good show. Used to scare me to death, and it was just. I had the record album actually. It wasn't even the show. It was from the show, but it was just listening to it. It was just the audio thing. It was really cool.
What were some of the stories that was this stuff that he just written and put together, or was this just a group of writers he just kind of hosted the show, like he was just like his name was attached to it?
He narrated them, and it had a lot of sound effects like we talked about the old radio shows. Yeah, it was like that, and they were just kind of dumb, but the way he would present them, like one was there was a drip in the house, and the kid kept hearing the drip, whatever, and then before he knew it, it was filling up the whole house, and he was going to drown, that kind of thing. not really scary, but as you're listening to it, get you all hyped up. At least as a kid, it did. It was pretty good. He was great, Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I love Alfred Hitchcock's movies. Like Psycho, which is actually a really good movie to watch. Is Anthony Hopkins plays Alfred Hitchcock. I think it's just called Hitchcock, and it's basically him trying to get the movie made, Psycho,
Oh.
and everything that he did. And actually, a big person that did a lot of his stuff for him was his actual wife. Like, she helped, do a lot of producing, booking him and stuff like that. So I think the concept of it, he wanted to do this story, Psycho, and he really liked it. He's like, I want to make this into a movie. But it was kind of like almost like one of his kind of last films. And a lot of people, the movie companies were like, oh, no, you're kind of like, look, you did your stuff. You don't need to do any more things. But he's like, I really want to make this movie. So all the stuff he did behind, to get, he bought, all the copies of the books so people couldn't read it before they went to go see the movie and stuff like that. He did a whole bunch of crazy. It's actually really interesting. My parents said it was really good. So that's one of those movies I want to see. I think it's on Netflix, hopefully.
Yeah, it was a good one.
But yeah, Alfred Hitchcock, he was a really good director for those kind of things. Also, anybody ever watch the old Universal monster movies, like Dracula, Frankenstein, all those kind of ones?
Yeah.
Those are really good too. If people haven't seen that, especially it's kind of funny because Bela Lugosi was the first person for Dracula, and that's where everyone got the concept of how Dracula would talk, because that's just how his accent worked with it. That welcome to and everyone just thought okay, that's how Dracula talks then. They didn't realize it was just that's how his accent was. And then when they hired Boris, because he was actually originally going to play Frankenstein's monster in the Frankenstein movie, but he was like, no, I don't want to be associated with just monster films. And then Boris Karloff took over for him, and then he just blew up. He just started doing a bunch. He did The Mummy and everything like that. So he kind of pushed Bela Lugosi into the side, ways.
What was the deal with all those old movies about bugs taking over into ants and them? It was called them.
Oh yeah, them. Basically what happened with that, it's weird because there's all these different horror genres that kind of had a thing. So I'm trying to remember when those movies came out. I want to say maybe the 1950s, maybe the 40s. And then what happened is no one was really scared of monsters anymore because all that started happening was nuclear testing. So then they all started doing movies based on what can nuclear testing do? And that's how you got the giant ants, the giant tarantulas, all that kind of stuff. It became more big monster movies such as Godzilla coming in and all that kind of stuff. And then they kind of went back to and then I think what really brought it back was when Hammer Films got the rights to kind of Dracula and all that stuff. They kind of made it more, I think those were in the 70s, and they did them in color and all this kind of stuff. And then their biggest thing was a lot of blood and a lot of gore, kind of like they did. But you watch it now, but it's very tame compared to what we're to now.
Yeah.
But in the 70s, it was oh my God, and stuff. And actually, what was really funny is Christopher Lee then took over for Dracula in all those films. So it's really, instead of learning in school, this is what I learned.
Nice.
That guy's hardcore though,
Christopher Lee, yeah. So it's just kind of interesting, all these different.
He's the one who played Saruman. Too.
Yeah, he played Saruman. He also was Count Dooku in Star Wars, but we don't associate those films because those first films, or the new saga films, we don't.
Oh yeah, those were rubbish.
Yeah, we don't count those.
Yeah.
I fell asleep during the first one of those.
That's fine. Phantom
At the
Menace.
theater.
Yeah,
My friend
You're
was
probably
like,
better off than had you actually sat there.
Yeah, if you actually had to sit through all of them and go through the pain and suffering that we did and just watch George Lucas ruin memories of our childhood, then...
Well, I'm glad that I'm not the only one who found them.
Yeah, they were rubbish.
No, the original ones are the best. Unless we'll see what J.J. Abrams does with the 7th episode, but it seems like he's bringing it back to old school, so...
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what else.
Christopher Lee, that guy's hardcore. He was British Special Forces during World War II. He used to hunt Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when Peter Jackson asked him to imagine the sound somebody would make if they were stabbed in the back, told him he didn't have to imagine it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
he's hardcore.
He is hardcore. Yeah, it's so crazy, all the stuff that he's been in too, Christopher Lee. He's done a lot of Tim Burton films.
Yeah.
and then
he's your dad.
Yeah, no, I wish he was my dad. He'd treat me better. He'd show me how to stab Nazis in the back too.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be able to watch Lord of the Rings the same way again.
Oh, I think I was
Now that I know.
hardcore. Yeah.
Actually, now I just want to see a movie with Christopher Lee, Patrick Stewart, and Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
I don't care what the concept is, just put those three in a movie.
Awesome Old Guys.
Awesome
the
old
movie.
Awesome Old Guys, the movie. That would be badass.
That would be. Could be a live action movie about pugs.
Ooh.
They could just play pugs. I totally see that. Probably twice.
Pugs with them doing the voiceover or something?
No, they just dress up as pugs.
Great.
So it's just like a pug hat that has that opening for like their faces.
Yeah.
Make it so, number one.
Yeah. It'd be awesome.
Awesome old men in pug costumes.
I don't know. That League of Extraordinary Gentlemen movie was really lame, I thought.
Yeah, that was. They did not adapt the graphic novel to that as well either. That was, again, also all horror like genre stuff
like
too.
League of Mediocre Gentlemen.
Yeah, it just wasn't
Yeah.
good at all.
Yeah, and sad part is Sean Connery's last film before he went to retirement.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I'm not going out on a bang.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, that was. But what's his face? Brent Spiner was in it though. He played the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very, very non-great movie.
Yeah. It was a movie other than great.
We need a thesaurus.
Probably.
We're having trouble.
Thesaurus Rex.
Thesaurus Rex.
I always think of a dinosaur when I hear the word thesaurus.
There's a comic going around the internet
Thesaurus.
with that.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there's a meteor coming, and the thesaurus is talking to the guys. They can't see it, the other dinosaurs, but he can. And he's like, it's like a round flaming thingy coming. And then in the thing, in the caption it says, the thesaurus never did live up to his ability, or I don't know.
To explain things.
Yeah, he had trouble finding words. Hence extinction.
Yeah.
Actually, we can talk about that. What is like one of the worst, probably like either scary movie or horror film you've ever seen? That you're just like, really?
Oh, what the hell is the name of that movie? Some weird freaking. I think it was Japanese or something. Guy I was stationed with bought it solely based on the cover. And the cover was like this weird, stupid animated skeleton thing. Basically, the gist of this weird movie is like this kid is bullied in like high school or something. These bullies put him in a tank and like fling acid on him or something. And so he like kills everyone. But then like the end of the movie, or no, the climactic sequence is like him, and when they're grown up, one of the bullies has this son or something, and this kid, the acid burned kid, like is hauling this bully's son around in like a suitcase. And then like it's near the end, he like throws the suitcase at the bully guy, and the bully guy's all freaked out, so he shoots it with a shotgun, and like it ends, but then they somehow go back in time. And then like he doesn't get burned with acid, and then he's like a really cool guy. And they're like all friends. And then like that's the end of
They had
it.
to have a happy ending.
Yeah, it was weird.
I think the film was just called Super American Fun Time.
Like super, Super Happy Funland Ranch, the movie.
The movie. All Japanese people read about it.
It was freaking weird. I didn't even know what was going on the whole time.
That's funny.
So, yeah.
I don't get into a lot of the modern horror movies. Like, it's just not my thing. But I think probably the creepiest, scariest movie I've seen, and it was really simply done, was The Hitcher. That movie messed my head up for a while. It was really scary. That and Children of the Corn, that one was pretty good too.
I never had a chance to see that one.
Yeah.
There's just elements to them that just creep me out. Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what did. Oh, the weirdest movie ever. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore. It's called like the ABCs of Horror, and it's just a bunch of directors got together, and it's all these shorts put together, and they basically do like, you know, A is for like you sit there watching and going like, okay, well it just basically pops up on the screen, just says A, and you're like, okay, A, and then you watch it and all this stuff's going on, and then you're like, okay, well, and you start seeing some stuff happening, and you're like, okay, okay, why is this A? And then it ends, and you're like, oh, and then it finally tells you what the thing was. So I think the first one was for A. And we're watching, it's like this guy in his bed, and then his wife just comes in, just like freaks out on him, like stabs him with a knife, like in his arm. He's like, what the hell? Starts freaking out and everything like that. And then finally, like, they both kill each other. And then, like, all of a sudden, you look out the window and a nuclear bomb goes off. It was A for atomic. And you're like, oh, okay, they were trying to save each other from the suffering of an atomic bomb. But it was just like, but you're watching this going like, this is so bizarre. Like, what is it? So now, then right when you watch it, then you're like, okay, now I have to watch the rest of the movie because you want to know what's what. And you're trying to sit there and figure it out. You're like, B, okay, what's going on? Bludgeoned to death, you know, and stuff like that. So, I mean, all of them are pretty, like, some of them are clever. Some of them were clever, but the majority of them were just dumb, and that's probably why it was on Netflix. But you're just like, I remember me and this girl just watching, like, okay, I got, okay, it was for cut, you know, like C
like
or something.
Edward Gorey, that book that looked like it was supposed to be a children's book, but it was like,
Oh yeah, that was great.
C is for Charlie who fell off the tower or something, and it'll show this child like falling to their death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Like B is for Brian, mauled by bears.
Mauled by bears, yeah.
Yeah, just stuff like that. So it was a clever movie, but it was just like, but then as soon as you watch like the first two little short films, then you're just like, oh great, now I gotta finish this.
What was Z for?
Oh god, what was Z for? Like, I don't know, because they did have some Japanese directors in there.
Oh.
And some of them were very bizarre. Like, you're just in there like, what? Like, literally one was like a woman. Like, it was a bunch of these guys, like, tied to chairs, and they can only move, like, their one arm, and basically they just sit there and pleasure themselves or something like that. While this Diamond Extras woman did stuff, and I guess if they couldn't produce anymore, they would kill them then. And then, but I have no idea what, like, now I'm trying to remember what the letter was. I'm probably going to have to go watch this again now, because I'm like, oh, great. But yeah, but right when it would show up and show, like literally one, I forget what it was another Japanese one, just like all these Japanese people dressed as Nazis and stuff's going on, like all this weird, like, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? But it's like, as soon as you realize it was a Japanese director, you're just like, you just kind of accept it. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very bizarre. I would say if you're able to catch it or anything like that, don't expect the best movie. I will say that right off the bat. Yeah. Expect to waste at least maybe an hour or 90 minutes of your life. So I will say that. So if you have nothing to do, basically if it's your last day to live, go ahead and watch it.
Okay. All right.
So Patrick, why don't you tell us your experience that one Halloween where you got to walk around with our best friend Ryan?
Yeah. It's kind of different. We got in costume, I guess. It was a last minute kind of thing. I think I pulled stuff out of my trunk and like taped it together, and that was my costume. And then we kind of just walked around. I was trying to get candy, and he's like, no, we're too old for that. Let's just talk.
Did he exactly sound just like that?
I think he had like a tie around his head. It was his costume. Like a necktie, but like around his head.
Yeah, like what people do usually when they're like, I'm at a bachelor party and I'm drunk. I've never done that. I've never been wearing a tie and gotten so drunk.
Like, how often are you at a party with a tie on?
Well, it's not even...
I mean, it's not a wedding.
Okay, let's
or
even...
a wake.
Well, if you're getting drunk at a wake, then... Oh, yeah, people do get drunk at a wake.
I'm Irish, come on.
I am too. So,
well, yeah, that's how you do a wake.
But I've never gotten to the... Okay, if you're ever suited up, I've never ever gotten to the point of I'm so drunk that I've ever taken my tie and put it around my head and been like, woo! And people go, he must be really drunk because his tie has left his neck and is now on his head. Is that like the emphasis? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like the alcohol in your blood like causes the tie to levitate or something. sort of floats, but then since your head's so much bigger than your neck is, it gets stuck. That's my theory.
Or you feel that you need a sweatband on your head, and that's all
I need a government grant to research this
tie
levitation.
And you know what? They probably will give it to you because the government just gives money out to anything that's a scientific government
grant. I need
grant.
to have my study funded. The drunken tie levitation study.
I guess I could do that for... That's actually... There you go, guys. There's an easy costume for you guys. Wear a suit and take your tie and put it on your head, wrap it around, and then when people ask you who you are, you're like, I'm the cliche bachelor drunk guy.
Yeah. Or I'm a study participant.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, anyone listening, if you want to donate to the study...
Let's start a Kickstarter page.
Yeah. www.tie levitation grant.org.
And send in photos of yourself with your tie on your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's actually true. We should try with every tie.
Hashtag science.
Hashtag do it for Dale. It's more important than science.
It's like country music funded, apparently.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Hey, don't be stereotyping, okay?
Well,
do it for Dale.
Do it for Dale.
Yeah, Bud Light.
I know, yeah, and it's true because we'll have to check with every single tie. Solid ties, striped ties, skinny ties, big ties.
Yeah.
Camouflage, Duck Dynasty
bolo ties. Does it even count as a tie?
I don't know. It's
a
like
bolo tie.
There's a judge in Tucson that believes it does. He's been wearing one for like 85 years.
Because to me, a bolo tie is just kind of like a brooch with string.
Mm-hmm.
What was why the bolo tie?
I don't know.
It's like a rock with string on it. Yeah, maybe it doubles as a weapon of some kind or something.
Yeah, but no, because Texans are the always ones that seem to be wearing them.
Theory. Personally, I think it's like a divining rod. You know what they used to do to try and find water?
Like dowsing?
Like a dowsing rod. But the bolo tie is to find eligible cousins.
Yeah. Oh, it could work. Oh, it makes sense because they go like, wow, it says you're my cousin, but you're not. And then he just pulls out his gun and shoots the person. So it kind of works out.
Yeah.
Because, yes, I assume all Texans carry guns.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably true, though.
Or at least creepy dogs and a lot of pain pills. And, well, we won't go there.
What? What Texans are you running into?
The one I used to work with.
Oh.
The pastry chef, former pastry chef, and then I found out he really only made donuts at like a donut shop.
You talking about Creepy George?
Creepy George.
Creepy George.
He was Texan.
Twitchy, too. He twitched.
Twitchy George, yeah.
Creepy, twitchy George.
Yeah. He didn't carry a gun, but he had a weird dog whose eyes went in like 4 different directions.
Charky.
And it's like you took a basset hound and a Labrador and turned it gray and made it all. It was really crazy. It was like Franken-Dog. It was not good.
It's like Frankenweenie.
And I brought it to work and it stunk really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charky.
So anyway, I digress. Sorry. But he didn't have a gun.
Join the Adventures of Charky and Twitchy.
So it was what? Charcoal
George.
colored? So it was
Charky.
Charky.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm glad those days are over.
No kidding.
Would have liked a gun sometimes when he was around.
Twitchy George, yeah. Especially with he's medicating himself into oblivion.
Yeah, he would pass out for like hours on end.
Wow.
It was interesting.
Speaking of, since we got into the topic of Texans and stuff like that, how did everyone feel about the guy who was let back into the country getting Ebola? He died anyway, so
yeah,
he finally passed on. But it's just all they did was ask him, like at the airport, "Do you have Ebola?" And he was like, "No." And they're like, "All right, go on through." I'm all like, "Wait a minute! People get pulled aside for just having like maybe a piece of metal accidentally like my parents last time they went to the airport, they got spread apart because the tickets were stapled." And my mom didn't know, so when she kept going through the machine, it kept beeping, and they're like, she's like, "Okay, you already went over everything," and stuff. They're like, "All right, you guys are probably terrorists." I'm all like, "Have you seen my parents? I don't think they are." My dad thought a terrorist was probably some sort of new Dorito flavored, so But yeah, so that guy passed away. So I'm just all like, but I know everyone's flipping out about it, but it was really weird. Somebody, I think Saturday Night Live made a joke about it because they said the guy went to Africa. He was from Texas and went to Africa and then came back, and they're all like, that trip just doesn't sound right. Like, what Texan is going to Africa?
Yeah, I think it's even more fun that Obama wants to send a bunch of Marines right into the pit of Boliville.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, first off, okay, we can fight wars, okay, but you really can't fight a disease. It's.
Yeah, good way to exterminate a lot of Marines, but he would never do that, I'm sure. I mean,
Well, okay,
not
but
our president.
well, also, obviously, I think he's just he might just not care anymore because I mean, he wasn't even at the White House, and that guy pretty much got to the front door with the security measure thing and everything like that. And I'm just all like, you have like one job, your security team.
I thought there was some guy on the elevator with him or something.
Oh, was there? I don't know.
He's the one who really blew it. I mean, here he's got Obama alone, and supposedly he was armed, and oh well.
Yeah.
Oh no. No, I do not. No. I will say this: as much as I don't really care about like the politics and stuff like that, I'm like, you could pretty much got anybody. But I will agree with no one. I don't want anyone to assassinate Obama because then we're gonna get stuck with Joe Biden, and that guy's just an idiot.
That's true.
So I'm like, let's just get him out of his term, and someone else will screw it up later. That's all I like about it. I'm like, it doesn't matter who we get anymore. It's like everyone, because that was the biggest thing everyone was complaining about too. Like a lot of the people who voted for Obama were all like, because he's going to legalize weed, man. And then we turned around and was like, nope, not going to legalize weed. And everyone's like, what? He lied? I'm like, yeah, he's a politician. They all do that. Like, I could just go up there and just be like, every time you go to the grocery store, you get a puppy if you elect me. And people be like, oh, sweet. And then come into the office, be like, you're not getting puppies. Sorry. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I try not to get into it either, but I do kind of chuckle at all the people who are so animately, like, pro-Obama, and now they're all freaking out, and, you know, it's like they never liked him. No. I'm going, yeah. I won't name names. But
I voted for Rod Stewart. So.
Oh, you did too?
Yeah.
Write-in?
We tried.
Write-in, yeah.
We tried.
Technically,
Sorry, Rod.
actually, if you get enough people to do a write-in vote, and I forget what it is, but if the person is legitimate, you can actually get that person elected.
Yeah, I think he was born in Scotland, though. So.
That wouldn't work.
Yeah. Too bad.
Too bad. Rod for president.
Rod for president.
He could be a governor, though. I mean,
he could.
Yeah, he could be a governor, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The governor.
Yeah, the governor of California.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say this though. Do you think Rod Stewart could probably save us all from a zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, probably.
How do you think he'd do it?
With his hair.
And his soccer skills. He has mad.
Yeah, he has mad soccer skills. Oh, okay. Yeah, now I'm sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. See, the zombies wouldn't be able to penetrate his hair, so they wouldn't be able to get to his brain.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be too enamored with his dancing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would sneakily, like, attack them with his soccer skills.
Yeah.
And they would all
Okay. Then here's this scenario. The dead start rising. Rod Stewart's taking out zombies left and right, doing very well. His dancing skills come up, but then the zombie of Michael Jackson shows up.
That's when
How do
you
they handle
need,
that?
That's
They would leave him alone, because Rod Stewart's not a little boy.
Oh, point two, Pat. Oh, I did not expect that line. That was good. Yee-hee, you're not a boy. But he could get confused. Because if Rod Stewart busts out Forever Young.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay.
True.
Yeah, throw in a couple more mixes.
True. Okay. Well, we've degenerated.
Yeah, we did. We always do that. We usually do that. I'm just trying to think what else. So, you guys probably are not doing anything for Halloween, it sounds like. I know you got to probably take the chillins out for, that's right, I call them chillins. The chillins out for trick-or-treating. Has everybody got their costume yet?
No.
No.
The youngest keeps changing her mind.
Oh, she's young. She's always going to do that.
She was going to be a cat, then Alice in Wonderland, and then Santa Claus, which I thought was actually a really cool choice.
That would have been
I
awesome.
think she should keep going with Santa Claus.
She changed her mind
great.
again. She wanted to be a cookie, and now I think a fox was the last I heard. So
Yeah, Fox. Yeah.
who knows where that's going to land, but
She'd always be Fox News and just lie to everybody when she goes and gets her candy.
she was a pug last year. It's going to be hard to beat that.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. She
Well, as
was.
long as she's not a blue cat, she should be fine.
Mm.
Do you not remember that, Pat?
Mm-mm.
Oh, maybe. Oh, did I not know you? I don't know if I knew you yet or not. My mom decided my mom never did store-bought costumes, which is fine. She decided to make me a Sonic the Hedgehog costume, and everywhere I went,
Do you remember that?
guys were like, "Were you supposed to be some blue cat?"
Yeah, I do. Gosh, I do remember that.
Which I guess that's what happens because my brother, maybe a couple years before that, he went as Link from Legend of Zelda, and it was like, "Oh, you're Peter Pan." And he just kept going, "I'm Link, damn it!"
That's awesome.
So it's like, of course, if you dressed up like that nowadays, everybody would probably get the reference now. But
I remember the blue
the
cat.
blue cat.
Yes, I do remember that now.
What was your best Halloween costume ever?
Best Halloween.
I was a Crayola crayon once.
Were you?
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah, yeah,
Was that before Steve?
yeah.
Okay.
I think we were in Michigan, maybe.
He was a wee boy at that time.
Yeah.
Saw
Trying to
pictures.
think.
It was
I
cute.
don't know what my best.
I thought your
best
Grim
one
Reaper was pretty good though that one year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know what the best one would be though.
I'm trying to think. Actually, one guy I went to a party and he did a really good one. He basically had he had an alarm clock glued to his shirt, like a lampshade on his head, some change and everything glued on his shirt, and then he had like 2 condoms on his shirt and stuff like that. And everyone's like, "What are you? What are you?" He's like, "I'm a one night stand."
Oh,
And we're like, "Yeah, that's pretty good."
That is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite that I did, it was in the grunge era, the
Mhm.
90s, and some girlfriends and I wanted to go to a party. We had no clue what to do, and so we dressed up as different bands, and my one friend dressed like Alice in Wonderland and put chains around herself, so she was Alice in Chains. And
Okay.
I had no idea what to do, so we got a bunch of old 45 records and flowers and put them on me, and I was Soundgarden.
Ah.
But I kept having to tell everybody.
nice.
But it is that's see
But it
that's
was fun.
those are the kind of costumes I like. The kind of
Yeah.
ones where you can actually figure. I'm like, yeah, you can go out and buy one of those. And the costumes nowadays, it's like most of the women they're basically dressing to reveal everything, and you're paying this much money for a costume where it's like you probably have that outfit already.
Yeah.
Like you just got to take a couple of things off of it, and you're good.
What do you call it, honey?
What?
Something about
Oh, it's National Dress Like a Slut
dress
Day.
like a
Yes,
slut.
Yeah.
yes.
I had a roommate once that went as spaghetti and meatballs, which was awesome. He found a giant red footy pajamas,
Oh, jeez.
and then he made noodles. I don't know what he used for the noodles, pool noodles or something. And then he made a bunch of paper mache meatballs and just stuck all this crap onto his red footy pajamas.
hmm
And so he was spaghetti and meatballs.
That's
It was
that's
pretty
pretty
awesome,
funny. Yeah.
actually.
That would be cool.
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's always creative. Yeah, I have to say the best one probably. I was the best blue cat in the neighborhood.
Blue cat.
It makes such a better story than if she had just bought you a Sonic costume.
Well, no, and that was the worst part. She made me the blue cat costume, and then somebody who joined our group had the actual store-bought Sonic costume.
of course.
So they had the mask, and then which was really. You look at my costume like, okay, this person put time, effort into it. No one
Sure.
got it, but it was a great blue cat. This person obviously, but the worst part is those store-bought costumes. I hate it. Is you get the mask, and instead of getting anything to go with the mask, it was just said Sonic the Hedgehog, and then had an actual picture of the person you were supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never bought a superhero costume that had the Spider-Man mask and then had Spider-Man on the front, just going, "I am Spider-Man," you know,
Oh, yeah.
kind of. It's just
Pop
like,
out.
Oh, nobody wears the mask longer than like 10 minutes anyway.
Well, you can't.
Yeah, it's
breathe or
like
see.
molten lava hot under those things.
And you have to breathe through that little hole,
And you get all sweaty and you just...
and the rubber band keeps breaking.
Ugh, terrible.
And it's getting tighter and tighter. And of course, if you lived in like a state that had winter weather anyways at this time, you'd always be wearing like an overcoat over the costume.
Yeah, that was lame too. I remember that.
Jerry Seinfeld had a great bit about talking about the Halloween like that. He's like halfway through, you rip off that mask, you throw it down, get to the last, bing bong, yeah, it's me, give me the candy. I'm Superman, look at the pant legs, what the hell's the difference?
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, none of us go trick or treating anymore now. Which is, unless you have kids, you take them out. So hopefully you're not going trick or treating at our age because that's just weird. But next year, are you guys actually going to do an awesome like decorations for your house and everything like that, or?
We usually do. I don't know. I kind of cheat and do the October and November decorations at the same time with just like pumpkins and stuff. I don't do a lot of actual Halloween, but I love ravens anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They're like my favorite bird. So I have quite a few raven things, and we will put those out. And I'm depressed that I can't right now. We're also taking the kids to the Halloween at the zoo, which should be cool.
Have you done that before, or is this the first time?
I've never been to Phoenix Zoo for zoo lights or anything, so we're going to do that in lieu of having all the hoopla at home.
Oh, no. That's cool.
Yeah.
No, and actually, I don't say you're cheating with that. I think that's actually a good idea because half the time, as soon as Halloween hits, then they just skip over Thanksgiving anyways.
I know.
And they're just like, oh, the Christmas trees are up.
And they're out already.
Oh,
they are. Yeah.
We're at Lowe's?
No, like Fry's is out.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
So
it's like, man, it's not even November yet. And we're already on to Christmas.
Yeah. We need more turkeys in our
Eventually, they're just going to have like Christmas stuff out like year round.
Probably. Like right in July.
Yeah, it's just like all year. Christmas. Yeah.
I will say this, though. Patrick and I, during the spirit of Halloween, we were using our little vape things, and we were actually smoking Ecto Cooler.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is really delicious.
It is.
Actually, I will touch upon this, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it before we close out the show. Speaking of supernatural and fun movies, apparently, I don't know if they are not doing it, but they have been in talks with it. They're doing a reboot of Ghostbusters or a third Ghostbusters, and they're planning on doing an entire female cast.
I don't know how I feel
weird.
about that. That's weird, right?
Yeah, that's weird.
Except sometimes those things, I don't know about that type of movie because I'm a major fan of the original Ghostbusters and especially Bill Murray. Like, how do you replace Venkman? I don't know many female actors.
Especially,
any actors really that would. It doesn't matter if they're female.
Well, especially because you consider the times. And they're probably doing that because why? Boobs. I mean...
Who are you going to call?
What I was going to say is sometimes you think it's going to be a big flop because they do something like that, and it actually turns out kind of cool. Like, I really liked Girl Fight. That was a good movie. And also G.I. Jane turned out pretty good.
But those were, like, supposed to be... They weren't taking something.
But that's what I'm saying. Those were standalone movies.
Yeah.
Like, that was like this is G.I. Jane. It's about a female who...
Yeah. So I would hope they would do, like, a different, like, another one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to do it, just call it something else. Don't even try to combine it with that. Because I'm like, I always said this. As much as I would love a Ghostbusters 3 movie, I would have loved it probably back in the early 90s after the second one.
Oh, sure.
You're waiting this long. That would be like, they were like, hey, we're going to do Back to the Future 4. I'm on board with that, but...
Yeah, but then, like, by the way, it's not Michael J. Fox. It's...
Or Doc, or...
Marty.
Yeah, Marty,
like,
or Doc Brown. It's like, it's the Kardashians going back in time.
Yeah,
it's like, why don't you just call it Kardashians going back in time then? Don't put the name on it. So I just hate when they decide to do another movie in that genre, but they waited so long to do it.
Yeah, it's cool. And, like, as a woman, I think that anytime you... go overboard with the whole feminism thing, you're just kind of slapping it in the face. I mean, the idea of equality isn't to show everyone up or, I don't know, like force the issue. And to me, that would be forcing the issue. And I don't know. I think they should do something different, be unique.
That's what I was saying. I mean, the idea originally for the Ghostbusters 3 movie was before Harold Ramis passed away, was they were all going to be, they're older, obviously, and they were going to be like, okay, we can't do this anymore. We got to hire new people. And then that was the whole thing where they were going to, get new people to take over for them, and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, they would still be in the movie.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And doing stuff like that, and it would be kind of cool and seeing, I'll be like, yeah, I've been on board for that, but now you're like, you took this much time to do this. Now, so far, I think the only person Eddie Murphy was like, not Eddie Murphy, Bill Murray was all like, he's like, yeah, I'd be fine with that, because I don't think he really even like cares. But I know Ernie Hudson was all like, don't do that, just call it something else.
Yeah, and I don't really care either. And if it was like a mixed crew,
I even thought about that too.
Great.
Like if you want to do like a male, female kind of thing, I was like, that'd be kind of cool too.
Don't make it like a statement of feminism to have.
Yeah.
I guess that's my point. So.
Yeah. I guess it depends on their approach to it.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not saying like no, girls have no right to be in Ghostbusters or anything like that. Yeah. It's just like I just think it's like try something new. Do something new. Just leave Ghostbusters where it is. Granted, yes, I would love a new Ghostbusters movie, but leave it where it is. In fact, I always tell people, I'm like, we kind of already got the third Ghostbuster movie if you played the Ghostbusters video game, because I was kind of like continuing on from where they were at. So.
Yeah.
But other than that, so.
As long as they write it well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like don't smut it up too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, it was a PG movie when it came out, and they did get away with a lot of the language and stuff like that and all the stuff. But now it's like this one, would be PG-13, and then of course our PG-13 is completely different from when it was back then. So, in fact, PG-13 was actually invented because of Gremlins.
All right.
Because Steven Spielberg, when it came out, it was a PG movie, and everyone's all like, "Yeah, it's got comedy, but it also has a lot of horror in this movie."
Scary, yeah.
And then he was like, "Well, we don't want to say it's R because all they had was G, PG, and R."
Yeah.
And then Steven's like, "Why don't we create something in between that genre?" So that's how we got PG-13. So
I know,
so
because we weren't 13 yet, and we had to watch it anyway, and we were like, we were scared.
Well, that was the thing. They even talked about that, doing another Gremlins movie, like third. I'm like, well, you could do that because you really don't need any of the old cast members. You could bring them back, but you really don't need any because really the focus is Gizmo and then the Gremlins.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, cool. Remember Child's Play?
We were actually just talking about that on Socially Awkward. Matthew actually was scared to death of that movie when it came out because he actually had a My Buddy.
Oh.
So I know exactly what to get him for Christmas.
That was very scary to me. I don't remember how.
First one, great movie, great horror film, unique and everything like that. And then everything afterwards, they just turned Chucky basically into like a comedian.
Oh, I didn't see any subsequent.
Those movies are stupid. Especially the one with like the ROTC kids or whatever.
Oh, Child's Play 3.
God,
yeah,
that was rubbish.
I never saw it.
Yeah, that was stupid. I mean, I like that it was making fun of people in ROTC. That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Child's Play, like, if they were to make, I wish that they were talking about rebooting it. I'm like, if you go back to where the first one was, because the first one was really good, and it really didn't show too much of, like, the doll doing stuff. They actually made it more like, oh, is the kid doing all this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is, like, the kid actually killing the people and stuff like that. And then afterwards, it was just like,
yeah,
I got all these one-liners now, man.
What were those movies with the... What was it? Puppet Master?
Oh, Puppet Master. Those were good.
Yeah, those were freaky, too.
First one was really good.
Yeah.
Second one was really good. And then they went really off trail when it got to... Like, it's like Puppet Master, 47 now. It's all like, what?
Yeah.
Like, they had a lot. But they did a really good... That was a really good movie. That was cool. Those were fun, too. They actually did one where it was like, there was these things called Demon Toys. There was a movie called, like, Demonic Toys. Mm-hmm. And they actually did a mashup between Puppet Master versus the Demonic Toys.
Weird.
Of course, Puppet Master guys just wailed on those things.
Yeah.
And the Hellraiser movie.
Yeah, those are creepy.
That was during my rebellious goth.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I had to watch.
Did you see that? What was it? Event Horizon?
Did I see that?
That sounds so familiar.
Weird freaking movie.
What was that one about?
They're like in space. It's like find like this weird ship that there's like nobody on, and you're trying to find out what happened and everything. And
I think I did see that.
I saw it ages ago, but yeah, that movie was freaky too.
Still a really good movie is First Alien.
Yeah.
That was like basically everything horror-like, but just in space.
I'll get you back for the bowl of chili. I've never seen Alien.
Oh, that's fine. It's a good one.
So there.
Still like the second one, though.
Yeah.
But then again, if you look at it, though, that was what James Cameron then took over to direct that one. And it's like he took the same concept and just made this like an action film.
Yeah.
And we were just like, that's awesome. Which I think that was like the first sequel that had like, basically all he did was like, we're taking an alien, but we're making a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And it's like a completely different, it's not really a horror movie, it's more of an action-packed movie and stuff like that. But like that was actually the first time that was actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
Where they were able to take an original concept and tweak it a bit and then pretty much make it, because basically those two movies could pretty much stand alone.
Yeah. An interesting tidbit, speaking of Event Horizon. It's been some study, I guess, a mathematician or physicist has done calculations, and based on their calculations, that a black hole couldn't possibly exist because the event horizon couldn't be created because of, they call it the Hawkins radiation. And since the star, as it's collapsing, gives off too much mass in the form of this radiation, it's not dense enough to form the event horizon. And so a black hole couldn't exist based off on the math. So far, the math calculations all check out, but they need to do more studies.
Huh.
You've been talking to Bert again, haven't you?
So we talk about black holes.
Hey, no, that's good. Pat brought a little bit of knowledge to all White-Tukee.
Better than football. So.
Yeah. Oh, there's a machinist at work named Bert. These are the types of stuff we talk about. Black holes and fat people.
Black holes are fat people, according to him, though. But speaking of radio stuff, before we close out, I will highly recommend this to anybody who's listening. If you want to check out a spooky podcast for the rest of the month or whatnot, check out definitely Where Alive is a zombie podcast, kind of like in the genre of old-timey radio dramas and stuff like that. So, But any closing words? Got anything next week?
Next week, we find out when our closing date is. So that's good.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll be right.
I just realized I put a pin in it next week. So next week I'm putting another pin in. I'll finally talk about the Skinwalker stories I have.
Yeah. Oh, and because I was thinking about that after you said that my mom had all the Tony Hillerman books.
Oh.
She's into that, and that Skinwalker book was a pretty good one.
Okay.
I remember.
So I'll remember next week.
Book of that.
I remember next week to talk about that actually, because I remember I put a pin in it last week, and then we totally skipped over this thing. But we got some good stuff in.
Kind of went off topic.
Random.
Hey, Pat, that's what Tukey does.
Yeah.
And a week of being home with children on fall break.
The children of the fall break should be the next movie.
Children of the fall break. Yeah. That'd be a horror movie for every parent.
I know. And they're like, it's true. But of course, you can find us on 4iRadio.com. Don't forget to give our Facebook page a like at Facebook /Ahwatukee. Follow us on Twitter at Ahwatukee. And I think that's it. So, in the closing words of the famous Pepper from Final Sacrifice, your father spoke a podcast. See you guys next week. Now I gotta find the music.
Music.
This has been another fine production of the 4i Radio Network. For more great shows, check out www.4iradio.com. Oh, I thought you were going to keep going. Damn it.
No.